friends, my name is Edith. In today's video, we will be talking about 4 different ways on how you can find a suite space, commercial rental for your business space. I did a poll on Instagram to ask you guys what you guys wanted the next video to be. All of you guys were requesting a video on tips on how to find a suite for your own business.
Okay, you guys, so this is how you can be a part of the next polls coming up for any videos you're wanting to request. You're gonna go and follow my Instagram, and then you're gonna click on the bell notification at the very top corner, and then you're gonna go ahead and turn on your notifications. Now let's get back to the video.
So tip number 1, you can find an agent that can help you find a rental for your space. This can be maybe an agent that has helped you in the past buy a home. This can be an agent that your parents have known in the past. This could be an agent, a realtor in your family or a cousin, a friend. And if that specific person can't help you find a commercial space, they will more than likely know someone that can, or a better way for you to find a commercial space within your city. Like for example, my last tech, she was telling me that she has a client. That client is actually a realtor, and I believe she said she was assisting her with finding a space that best suits her needs. So that's why I feel like that is one of the number one way that you can go about it, so that you're not stressed about having to meet with all these landlords, business spaces, and having to tour everything. That way the realtor, the agent, piles it all together for you and kind of only gives you the exact spaces that will fit your needs, and that may be like space wise, or if it fits your needs in the sense of like what your budget is, or like just that way you stay within the area that you want to be. Tip number 2, Google. Google is going to be your best friend. I love Google. Honestly, I freaking love Google, because literally everything in my life I Google. Like I literally may have a question over anything, and I either ask Siri to Google it for me, or I actually keep the Google app on hand. Like the first screen that comes up on my phone when I open my phone has the Google app, so I can just simply Google there. Like I don't even have to type it into Safari. No, like it's already there. That's how much I use Google. And the truth is that Google can, if someone tells you to Google something, it's really not a bad thing. People are trying to help you. I feel like the only way that I would take it offensively is if I don't want to be helped. Like if I have a question and I don't want that question answered because of the work that it may take. Never feel offended when someone tells you to Google something. Like if in my YouTube videos, I will probably mention Google like in every single video. And it is because it is going to help you tremendously, especially if you're the first business owner in your family, because other people may have family members that they can actually go to for questions and for help. Other people may have investors. Usually investors have the experience, so you can just ask your investor. But people like me, we don't have the luxury of being able to just pick up the phone and call, or to pay a consultant, because a lot of times those fees can be pretty high. Instead, we reach out to our best friend, Google. So whenever you Google this, one thing that I did is I typed in suites for rent in Houston, Texas. It basically gave me all of the options that I had, and kind of take a virtual tour of some of those and see if I like them or not. Tip number 3, drive around the area where you would like to be located. I know that when we're starting our business, we all have that dream location where we would like to be. Or if that's not the case for you, if maybe it's not your dream location, but it's a location where you think you can afford to be, drive around the area, actually go and sit outside of the space. Like, let's say you've been driving around and you actually found something that you really like, and you're like, wow, this, you know, I manifested this. This is like the perfect location for me, and it has the perfect aesthetic for me. Okay, perfect. So then on like a normal day, even if you have to take some time off of work, okay? Even if you have to take some time off. And I know that may sound crazy, especially if you have like a 9-to-5 type of job where you may not be able to take off as much, but the way that I want you to look at it is I want you to look at the time that you're taking off as an investment for your dream. Remember that at your 9-to-5, it's almost like you're helping someone else build their dreams. You're helping someone else achieve their dreams. So I want you to take some time off. It's okay. You may be missed, but the company will be fine. Take some time off, and I want you to drive around. Like I said, if you found that spot that you like, I want you to go and sit there in front of that space. Not only is this going to help you imagine and envision yourself driving to this location every single day, coming to work, coming to like whatever your business may be. It could be body contouring, it could be doing hair, it could be doing nails, whatever it may be. Envision yourself driving to this space every single day instead of your 9-to-5. This is gonna help you envision that. But the real reason why I want you to drive there on like just a normal day. You could do it on a weekend too if you want to, but I want you to go there. Like, go there twice a week. Like, just 2 different times of the week to go there. You want to observe whether this foot traffic is going to be your targeting audience. It's not that you're judging the people that live in the area or you're judging the people that are walking through the area. It's just that with, like, for example, body contouring services, it is a luxury service. If you're not in the proper area, but yet you're paying a lot for rent, a lot of times the reason why you pay a higher rent in a commercial area, like in a storefront type of area, is because you get to have that walk through, like that foot traffic, and like that advertisement of just your store being there. And if this is not the correct location for you, then it's not really going to be, it's not going to serve you as marketing of its own. If people cannot afford your services in the area that you're in, then it's really not going to serve you the purpose that you are probably looking for. Like, for example, here in Houston, Texas, most of the body contouring businesses are out over by the Galleria area, by the Montrose area, by the more high-end area of Houston. The reason why is because that, like for example, the Montrose area, that is, or like the Heights area, that would be the area where more people are like concerned about the way that they look, about the way that their body looks. And over in the Galleria area, or even in the Woodlands area, would be where people tend to spend more money on unnecessary, I don't want to say unnecessary, but like luxury type of procedures. I am not in those areas. The reason why I'm not in those areas is because I've always dreamt of being able to work close to home. I've always, ever since I started working at 16, I've always had a super long drive to work. And I wanted to finally be able to determine where I worked. So I stayed within an area that's close to where I live. The way that I kind of decided where to go was because I realized that my clientele is coming from social media, coming from all over, like literally, it is so crazy. Like Conroe, Woodlands, Louisiana, California. Yes, California. People will come from California just for this. And you're probably thinking, don't they have this procedure in California? I don't know, they may. I'm sure that they do. But they're willing to follow us. They're willing to follow what we do, and I love that, and I am so grateful for that. And because of that, because of our social media presence, is that I've been able to stay wherever I want to be. I wanted to give you the example of like why, or like how I did not choose to go to those areas, and why I'm not following my own advice. Because I also wanted to give you the example that, like, for example, the location that I'm in, my foot traffic is not the foot traffic that I would prefer to have. Like, I have a gas station next to me, I have a barbershop next to me, and then like on this side here I have a tax office next to me. Even though there's a lot of foot traffic in this location, my clientele is coming off of social media. That is kind of what I mean by just making sure that whatever you're paying for is going to be worth it for you. Now, the reason why it's still worth it for me, even though we're not getting too much foot traffic, is because I get to be close to my son. My son is starting school this year, so I plan on being the one that takes him to school. I want to pick him up from school. I want to be able to be there. Actually, a few weeks ago, he wasn't feeling well, and I had like a 1 hour break in between clients, and I drove over there to go see him and to go basically eat my lunch with him. And that to me is so worth it. Even though, yes, we're paying high rent here for a storefront, and it would be ideal to have the ideal foot traffic, to me, it's seeing my son it means so much more than that. So we still continue to have to do hard work when it comes to making sure that traffic source from social media and our social media presence. I love being here, and even though this location turned out to be less space than what I actually need, I hope to stay here and maybe I can franchise instead of having to move. I just leave it in God's hands, but I kind of wanted to give you guys an example. Those were actually my tips on how to find a suite or a space rental. I want to share a few of my favorite spots that I have found during my research. The reason why they are my favorites because they are super chic, they're super clean, super professional. Your clients will walk in and literally feel like they're getting that luxury type of experience. When you have a service that is not a need, you definitely want to make your clients feel like they're getting a luxury treatment, because not everyone can afford whatever your service may be. One of my favorite spots is Blue Lion Salon Studios. There's a few locations around the Houston area. My next favorite location is Sola Salon Suite. These locations are super cute and luxurious. The Eden Salon Suite, they are really cute. What I really love is the fact that you are walking into a space where everything is almost like done for you. They have their own website. They will actually advertise you. I love that there's so many other people just like you building their dreams that you will get to see on the daily basis. A really cool thing that you guys can do is team up together. I did not make notes on this, but I do want to also give you a few pros and cons I have run across while here in my storefront, because I know some people that are in salon suites. I kind of have an idea of what it's like. I've never actually had to rent a salon suite. As I said earlier, a pro, you get to network, you get to basically get free advertisements. I've known some people that have told me that they're in a suite, and what the owner of the suite location does, or like the company, they have this thing where they advertise you and you pay like $20 or so a month, which is so cheap considering how expensive advertising is. And so they're getting you clientele for only like a small fee. Whatever you pay for rent, that is you paying for water, that it includes your electricity, and that may also include your Wi-Fi as well. A con with having a storefront is that you're gonna be paying your rent, right? You're basically gonna be paying the rent for having a walk-up location. And on top of that, you're gonna be paying your water as a separate bill, and you're gonna be paying your electricity as a separate bill. Another advantage is that you can actually put signs, you can put signage outside of your door or windows, however your location is looking, and attract clientele in that way. For us, when we are done for the day and it starts to get dark, we have this body contouring doll sign here, and we leave it on throughout the nighttime, and it pulls people's attention to try to figure out what this location is. I have signage on my window, and it's the type of signage that you can see from the outside, but you can't see from the inside. So it not only serves as like coverage so that people are not like looking in all the time, because I do have a lot of naked booties in here, but it works as, you know, advertisement. So from the outside, this is what it looks like. You can kind of see like the micro little holes in it, and you can slightly see the wording there, but you know, people can actually see it from the outside. Now legally I couldn't put anything there and there, so this was all I was allowed to do, which is fine because I could always purchase a poster to just go there, like in that area right there. So it's totally fine, this works for me. One signage that I am waiting on though is putting the business name at the very top of the building. I have been waiting on that because when you pay for it and design it, you have to wait for the city to approve it. So you have to wait a few weeks for the company to actually come and hang it for you. But I am so excited for that because our signage is going to have LED lights, so whenever it starts to get dark, the sign is actually going to turn on, and basically that way it could always be seen at all times. So one advantage that you have when you have a storefront location is that you get to basically display things like this outside of your business. Like for example, there was a day when we were not fully booked. My technicians were fully booked, but I wasn't, so I had like a little bit of time in my hands. And so what I did is I went ahead and purchased this from At Home, which I think you can find them at Hobby Lobby as well. I will go ahead and link it below if I could find it somewhere online. But I purchased this, and I believe this was $40. And so I went ahead and just wrote on it real fast, as you can see, and my handwriting is terrible, but even then I literally put it outside, and 30 minutes later we had a few clients walk in and purchase products, and from this sign that day we made almost $500 just from putting this outside. So that is a huge advantage that you will have if you do have a storefront. Another pro is that my clients make their appointment and they drive up to my location and they can park like literally right in front of my door. A con with suites sometimes, unless you're at a suite salon, it has its own parking space, and then they could just walk through the door and then like just find your suite. Then that's awesome. But a lot of suite spaces, like an office type of suite, they have to go park in a garage, or they have to go find their own parking, and they have to pay for parking. I've also had clients in the past that have told me that they have gone to different body sculpting businesses, but they had such a struggle parking and making it, because you have to park, then you have to walk to the front entrance, and then you have to go to the elevator, you have to find a suite, and it's a lot. So you have to really plan out your day in advance. Like you have to plan out the traffic, especially here in Houston. You have to plan out the fact that you have to have time to park, you have time to find the clients. Don't want to do that, so that's a huge con right there. Another con with having a suite is that you won't get that walk-through traffic unless, like I mentioned earlier, unless you network and work with the other artists in the area that you're in, which I will highly recommend for you to do. If you're not the type of person to want to talk to people that you don't know, you're really gonna have to depend on your social media influence. Another con with suite salons is that a lot of times they have like the walls don't really go all the way upwards, and you're basically everything that the person next door is doing and saying you can hear from your area. A pro with that is that usually these salon suites, they have a playlist of music that they have already approved and through their franchise, so it's music that you don't have to worry about finding, because like for example the music that I play here, sometimes I'll have like the station on and then like a very inappropriate song comes on and I have to like find my phone and skip that song, because sometimes something that may be like cool for some people may be like really inappropriate for someone else, and they're like gonna look at you like, I'm never coming back here. That takes that stress off of you of finding like the perfect playlist. Another pro, the salon suites or the office space suites, I forgot what that is called. They basically do it all for you. They have your area ready. I've actually heard of some salon suites that will paint and will set up your space for you. Of course, once. Then if you have to repaint or like move things around, then that is on you. With a storefront, you have to do everything. If you have to build walls, you have to do that yourself. If you need to build a second restroom or fix up the restroom, or your toilet stops working, that is totally on you. Those are expenses that have to come out of your pocket, or out of your business pocket. Another pro, whenever you first apply to move into the space, they will assist in making sure that they tell you everything that you need. Whenever you're looking into getting a storefront, it's almost like the landlords or like the people that own these, they expect you to already know and have everything that you need. In that case, it's not a huge deal. You can always go to your city and ask them what all you're going to need, and then that's when you go and purchase all of your permitting. Like for example, with my permitting, I believe I spent like around $300 to $500 paying all of the fees for all of my permits, and this would be an expense. This would be an expense that if I was moving into a suite, I would have not had to pay. Because of this reason, it tends to be a lot more stressful moving into a storefront versus a salon suite. Another thing with a storefront is that I have to have certain posters. I don't have to display them. I just have to have them somewhere here in my area, in my location. All of these posters could be like $75 or like $50 each. And you legally need to have them, and like as they update them, you need to continue to purchase them. Another thing with having a location like this is that you need to pay like certain fees per year. Like you pay taxes on the space that you have, you pay a franchise fee. There's a lot of fees that come with having a storefront location, so those are definitely huge cons to try to avoid, especially if you're at the point where you're building up your clientele. Now for me, this was a dream of mine to have basically my face, my name, my business name on the door, and I wanted people to literally park. I have manifested this, you guys. Like one day I will make a video about manifestations and how everything came true for me, because this is a huge thing for me. I manifested all of this. I literally wanted my clientele to be able to park in front of my door and to be able to just walk in. And it happened. I literally just mentioned earlier how my clients can park right in front of my door. And what worked out so perfectly is that I can actually host my trainings here at this location, and I love having to do that, because I would find it such a pain in the butt to have to contact like the nearest hotel near me or the nearest conference space near me and have to arrange like the room area and like the meals and all of that. I love the fact that I can be in my space where I feel safe and I feel comfortable, and it's so much better. It's just so much better. Yes, it was super stressful to move into this space. Girl, at the time that I moved into this space, I literally had a bald spot on the back of my head from how much I was stressing moving in here. If you're like, girl, I ain't about to go through all that stress, then I would recommend a salon suite. Like I said, a salon suite works perfectly for you. if you're willing to network and if you're willing to build up your social media influence or your social media target audience, so that you don't have to depend on like foot traffic or just being found by being seen. You can be seen on social media. Honestly, back in the day, people had to pay for like newspaper advertising and even like posting things like on the sidewalk or like by lights about advertising. And now it's so crazy because literally you can pay for an ad. It could be seen by like thousands of people. You don't have to drive and go put your sign at the light for people to see this. Like, it is so crazy what we can do with our phones, like at the power of our fingertips. The power of social media is insane. And if you learn how to master this and how to work it to your advantage, you are going to grow like crazy. I promise you that. Okay guys, so we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope that you guys join me in the next video. Make sure that you follow me on social media to be part of the poll so that you can decide what the next video is going to be about. And don't forget to give this video a huge like. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end of the video. Leave me a comment down below because I really want to see who is really listening to the entire video. And don't forget to subscribe and share this. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.